Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco, there's a sister, and we're continuing with Saturnastra. This is chapter 4. You can't just slay a feral dragon. Well, you can try, but it never ends well. Year 3 months till day 30, 10 a.m. The next day, the town people elected a new mayor, and no one could say how Gabranja. The next day, the town elected a new mayor. Nobody could say how Mayor Gabran had died, and his wife awoke to find him dead beside her. And Undine volunteered to examine the body, and upon closer inspection, she concluded that Gabran's heart had simply stopped working, and the townspeople naturally assumed that Gabran had died of a heart attack because of the stress of managing the town. And this time, the leader that came forward did not belong to the mayoral family. The new mayor was called Iago, and like Figaro, he was named after a character from a play his mother had seen a long time ago. He was a sensible man, aged 27, and he had the build of a scholar, and his most striking feature was his cold blue eyes, and his family traded lumber and stone with the berserker. And being a trader of sorts, had allowed Iago the opportunity of learning how to read and write, and among his greatest treasures were the only 6 books he owned, and this education made him less narrow-minded than the regular townspeople he interacted with. And he was the sort of man who would let you crash and burn before coming to your aid. When Gabra was murdered, for indeed he was murdered, Iago was chosen against his will to lead the town. And after the funeral procession, Iago invited the berserkers to dine at his home, and after dinner, he sat outside the portico with Undine, and both sat on a rocking chair, and Undine sat with her legs to the side, indifferent to how much of her was seen in such an unladylike way of sitting. Iago too sat in a relaxed pose while he smoked a cigar, and the portico faced his neighbor's subsistence crops of wheat, rice, potatoes, and tomatoes, and despite the dragon incident, the crops had yielded disproportionate amounts of food, and it was almost as if they had been blessed by abundance. And taking a friendly tone, Iago said to Undine while looking at the farmers working, "You must excuse my predecessor's rudeness, and I have made arrangements to provide for each of you your own room and bed, unless I feel they will not be in the same house." "Worry not, good sir," said Undine with her usual playful voice, and Iago had read in one of his books which color I stood for which over moods. Today Undine was in a good mood, judging by the soft pink hues of her eyes, and she was always in a good mood after killing someone, and carrying on, he said, "Now about the dragon, how long do you think it will take you to kill it?" "It depends on what kind of dragon," said Undine, taking on a serious professional tone, and her eyes shifted to emotionless white. "Well, the dragon is about a floor and a half in height and about a crop in length, and it has a large, powerful claw, and is really wide with large black wings, and its skin is copper color, and its mane is pitch black, and its eyes and fangs blood red," he said, describing the dragon that he remembered. Undine frowned when she heard the description. She had seen a strange copper dragon in the forest, however the one she saw was a lot smaller than the one Iago had described. And based on hearsay, the dragon she saw was Flamenca, and Undine could not fathom how such a docile little creature had imagined enough fury to attack the town. And she was better able to size the dragon when Iago told her of the ideal fated night, and after jogging her memory a little, she brought to mind the dimensions of the ballroom, and the first time she had visited it was about 178 years ago in one of her many campaigns with Bersamin. And if the ballroom had not been ridiculously elongated, then perhaps the measurement she was receiving had been exaggerated by fear. Still, if the coloring was the same, then the dragon that attacked the village was not Flamenca. Flamenca's mane was reddish, with a few golden streaks, and her eyes were green, not red, and she was certainly not long, nor did she have giant claws and wings, and the description Iago gave her was more akin to an alabaster dragon. And by nature, alabaster dragons were territorial, and this would have explained the reason for the attack. Regardless, Undine resolved to investigate the matter further. "And if I take you to the dragon, will you be able to identify it?" she asked. "No," said Iago, shocked. "Indulge me, I don't want to kill the wrong dragon by accident. And don't forget, you guys only paid enough to slay one dragon, and if we kill the wrong one, you will have to pay more money," she said, sitting straight to look at Iago in the eyes. And Iago saw the resolution painted on her stern green eyes, and Undine nodded. "Don't worry, I know how to avoid the other feral dragons who live in the forest." "If there's no other choice, then I guess I will go," said Iago, giving a sigh of frustration. Undine leaped to her feet and then said, "Alright, let's go. The sooner you identify the dragon, the sooner we can kill it and get out of this godforsaken town." And Iago frowned when he saw Undine eagerly beckoning him to take her hand, and when he got up, she took his hand in hers and poured a few droplets of one of her vials into his palm. And the yellow liquid had a distinct smell of wet dark orange juice combined with sulfur. And not bothered to explain further, Undine guided Iago by hand towards the forest, and as Iago got closer to the edge of the forest, he was able to see at its edge Flaminca tanning herself, and her entire frame was spread out over the grassy ground, and only her left wing was stretched out in its full length, barely touched the grassy ground, and in all respects her wings were too small to support Flaminca's size. And Flaminca heard the strangers approaching, and she opened one of her large green eyes and surveyed Undine and Iago with disdain. And yawning, she closed her eyes again, and Undine walked over to the pharaoh dragon and sat on her snout, like on her nose. Flaminca did not mind, since she had already eaten, and plus she did not particularly like the taste of nymph blood. And smiling coyly, Undine asked Iago, "Is this the ferocious beast which attacked your village?" Iago got closer to the dragon, and in the daylight Flaminca seemed harmless, and her passive nature unnerved him. And for a moment he doubted his own memory, and he had drunk more than usual that night. The dragon attacked, and he was about to dismiss the thought altogether when he saw something which caught his attention. Flaminca had at the tip of one of her foreclaws a ring, and Flaminca's instinct warned her of Iago's changing mood, and Iago was no longer afraid of her, and Undine too noticed the ring stalking in the dragon's claw. And she said to Iago, "Certainly there is a logical explanation for this ring, and pharaoh dragons have an affinity for shiny baubles, and you can often find it in their nest all sorts of trinkets." And Undine got off the dragon's nose and walked towards Flaminca's foreclaw. And Flaminca was now eyeing her with keen interest, and she saw the ring reflected in Undine's eyes, and it was the first time Flaminca had noticed the ring. And she pointed her foreclaw towards Undine, who gingerly removed it. Most of the ring was covered in blood, ice, soot, and dirt, and Undine cleaned it using another one of her vials, and despite this strip, the ring was still more or less in one piece. The ring had a message written inside. The part of the message that was still legible said, "Forever yours, Thomas." And Undine frowned when she read the message in the ring, and again she watched the ring to brighten it, and when Undine handed the ring to Iago, the message had been purposely corroded. And finally Iago said, "I am very certain that this was the dragon." "And for your sake you better hope it's not," said Undine, and her eyes wide reflected but no emotion, and Iago felt unnerved by Undine's changing attitude, and this time he said with more certainty, "The more I look at it, the more certain I become. This is the dragon I wish you to slay." Undine's eyes changed back to playful pink, and laughing, she said, "You can't just slay a pharaoh dragon." "Come again," he said, taking a step back away from the dragon. "Pharaoh dragons are stronger than the regular dragon, and their wounds heal faster, and they have more stamina. Their instincts are sharper than most pharaoh beasts, making it impossible for you to sneak up on them, and they are immune to magic. On top of that, they can camouflage, and all who have ever fought one has died. Trust me when I say this, you can't hunt a pharaoh dragon. It's not happening. I don't want to die." The pharaoh dragon hunts. You can't hunt a pharaoh dragon. The pharaoh dragon hunts you. And if you wanted to destroy your village, you would have done so the first time she attacked, said Undine. That was the same way she spoke to her student. And Iago said a moment and then said, "So this dragon can be killed?" And Johnny, she said, "Let's go. I'll write you a banknote and we'll get 10% for making us waste our time. And other than that, you may be happy to have your money back." "I still need a body," said Iago, scheming. "There is a dragon graveyard a few miles up into the forest. Take a dragon head and call it quits," she said, starting to depart. And she stopped midway and then said, "And for future references, avoid talking about the egg. I think this one understands human tongue." "Oh," said Iago, and then he said to the dragon, "Do you understand what I'm saying? Will you leave our town in peace?" Flaminca nodded in response, though she did not understand why Iago spoke to her as if she had done anything wrong. And she just acted in a fashion which would have made Iago less hostile to her, and in the other she would have challenged with equal firmness Iago's arrogance. However, she restrained her violent temperament to secure the life of another. Remembering her charge, Flaminca lifted her wing to get a better look at it, and Iago and Undine's jaws dropped when they saw a small human shell clinging to the dragon's wing. And the way the dragon carried the child was in the same fashion feral dragons carried about their young. And the child looked like he was either 5 or 6 years of age, and he sported an immaculate blood-red rose with golden borders. He had a pretty girly face and long red curls, and his eyes had blood-red hue. And his name was Ahi, the powerhouse, the child of the wizard and Lady Godiva. And he had come to with his 12 siblings to save Saturnastra, and since he was too powerful, they had him on standby in case they had to fight something ridiculously strong. And Undine set alarm when she saw Ahi. What the hell? And Iago took a step back and grasped, it's a human, a small human child. Flaminka understood that they were surprised and alarmed. However, she interpreted the surprise in a way which made her worried about her Ahi. She growled softly at the child and petted it with her wing, and he relaxed his grip to allow his mother dragon to pick him up by the ends of his rope. And she placed him gingerly on the ground, and John and Ahi rolled his eyes, and he started to sniff the air and crawling on fours. And when he sniffed his way to Undine, he looked up and smiled, and he found Undine's aroma rather pleasant, and the next person he surveyed was Iago. And unlike Undine, Iago hissed at Iago, and Flamingo too started growing hostile towards Iago when he saw Ahi hissing at him, and indeed she trusted Ahi's instinct more than she trusted her own. And Flaminga sat up on her hind legs, and she stretched her wings and eyes and took a deep breath. And Iago started running back towards the town, imagining that Flaminga wanted to burn him alive, and instead of shooting flame, Flaminga simply stretched her limbs and then she relaxed. Afterwards, she stood on all fours, and he said to growled at Flaminga, and Flaminga simply purred in response, and she lowered her head and allowed Ahi to nimbly make his way to one of her wings. And once Ahi was settled down, the pair went on their merry way. And Undine watched this incident with curiosity, and by the time the pair was gone, she had come to a decision. Still, Undine had to clear Flaminga's name. And Undine chased after Jan in order to keep him from alarming the town. And since she was a faster runner, it did not take long for her to intercept him, and she caught him while he wandered aimlessly out of breath out of the woods, and her initial instinct was to slay the poor fool. However, she restrained herself because she needed him alive for the time being. And giving a quick excited breath, she said, "You are a fool, Iago." And the dragon was simply stretching, and had she wanted to attack you, she would not have wasted her time breathing fire. And when the enemy is inches away from a dragon, their instinct is to snap at them. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Iago started coughing while reclining against a tree, and he said while holding his chest, I thought it was a gunner. "Relax, my poor man," she said, patting his back. "I'll walk you home." Alright, so that's the end of that chapter. Bye-bye and God bless.